Monday, 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 Monday. Yeah. Okay. This is the first Monday I've been excited for in a while because finally the first semester of college for me is over. And holy shit, college exams took it out of me. But I am back and I am ready to get right into this multiple story Monday. So let's do it. Partner uses her phone timer to limit my talking to 5 minutes. Today was an interesting day. I visited a local cafe and the kitchen staff hadn't cleaned the grill properly. I ended up with minor chemical burns to my mouth and lips. The police and ambulance were called. While relating this story to my girlfriend of 3 months, she opened the timer on her phone and said, "You have 5 minutes," and started the timer. I was a bit stunned and lost for words in the moment, so I made some lame joke and laughed it off, but it's really bothering me that she was so dismissive. Any tips on setting a boundary in a healthy way? My gut reaction is that this is indefensible. Commenter 1. I'm sorry that your soon to be ex girlfriend isn't interested in you or your life, but we are. Tell us more about what happened. How did not cleaning the grill end up with police coming? I'm sorry this happened to you. Are you okay now? OP. While I was eating a sandwich, I felt a burning sensation in my tongue and lips. I thought it was chili initially, so I checked the menu to check the ingredients. No chili. The burning became more intense and it felt like my skin was blistering. So I told the waitress and the chef. I asked if they have recently been cleaning, and the chef told me that he had just cleaned the grill with soda, but I could smell bleach. I told him this, and he said he'd clean the floor with it. I immediately called the Poison Information Center, and they told me to go to the emergency department. I wanted to take the contaminated food with me to the hospital. The owner appeared, took my possession of it, and refused to hand it over. I called the police. At this point, I was just concerned about my health, but had to wait until the police and then the ambulance arrived to turn up. It was about an hour in total. The staff rapidly recleaned the kitchen prior to the police arriving. The police said he didn't have to hand the food over. The paramedics deemed that it wasn't worth the trip to the ED. It wasn't. The right side of my lip and tongue are burned as if I ate super hot pizza. At the end, the police said he'd let me take a photo of the food container. When he opened it, I immediately noticed that the smaller bit of the sandwich, which I had highlighted as the cause of the burning, was no longer there. Someone in the cafe had obviously thrown it away. I said this to the police, who are standing right next to me. The police said they have no evidence it was ever there, so they can't do anything about it. I asked them to look in the trash, and they said no. What the fuck? I was so angry about that. The burning sensation stopped hours ago, but it still stings. The only reason I mentioned it to the cafe was because I needed to know what I had come in contact with and to make them aware so that other customers weren't affected. What the fuck, man? I want to hear about this story. And why the fuck did your girlfriend not? I mean, okay, it took me like 2 minutes to read that whole thing that he said to me. So I guess he could have technically told her the whole story in about probably 4 minutes if he's remembering it off the top of his head. But still, who wants a partner who's not even interested in their day to day lives? Like, oh, I went to a cafe and I had to call the police. Like, hello, please tell me that story. The fuck? Why do you think I go on Reddit and look for all this juicy drama that happens in other people's lives? It's because mine is fucking boring, okay? All right, let's get into the update. Update the next day. I told her this morning that I was shocked that she pulled out a timer and I felt unsupported and dismissed. She said she understood, without an apology, and followed with, "But you were repeating yourself like my ex used to." I said, even if that were the case, you had other options, for example, telling me. I only slept for 4 hours, and it would be too draining to meet her mother, so I decided to stay home and sleep. Her response was, "What will I tell my mother?" I said, "Tell her what happened," referencing her previous statement that I shouldn't mention it to her mother. Yes, I do clock quite a bit, but I could talk about bikes and beer for hours in like-minded company, and I'd have no issue with a mate telling me to shut the fuck up. But this was a strange and really stressful situation at the cafe. Being told to go to the emergency department due to oral chemical burns, but having to stand around while waiting for the police and ambulance to arrive while suspecting that the owner would destroy the evidence, which he did, is fucking crazy. So yeah, there's no future with her. I'll be in my head counting words and measuring minutes while talking, which is definitely no way to communicate. Commenter. I had a friend who really talks a lot. He goes on and on and on and on and on. And he won't stop until or unless I tell him to stop. It's just the way he is, and I've known him since we were little kids. I would never pull out a timer and tell him he has 5 minutes and then I'm gonna stop listening. That's the most disrespectful and rude thing I could possibly do. Edit. My friend is married to someone who literally tells him to stop talking. She does it nicely and respectfully, though. After she feels he's reached whatever limit, different limit depending on the situation, of course, she will lean in and politely put her hand on his arm and just sort of, "Hey, that's a great story, but let's let Jim Bob talk for a bit now," while smiling and treating him kindly. My friend knows that he never stops talking, and he greatly appreciates that his wife does this. She is an awesome person and has never treated him with disrespect or without patience and kindness. My friend is really an amazing person, and he's super cool. He just doesn't have that social awareness of when to stop. We're all pretty sure, him included, that he has some kind of autism or something, but he's never been diagnosed. Yeah, I mean, if your wife, or sorry, not your wife, what the fuck? If your girlfriend really wanted you to stop talking so badly, there are way nicer ways to do it instead of giving you a fucking like grade. It's like you're in a class and like, all right, your teacher says, okay, you have 3 minutes to present your point. Go ahead, and you just gotta get it all out in 3 minutes. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, bro. Like, you are the person that I come to talk about this shit because I can talk to you about random stuff like this, and it's supposed to be fun, and that's the whole point of a relationship. God. And I saw in a comment that the OP said she's 45. And yes, I 4'5", like 45. Like she's like not emotionally immature like a 21-year-old. And she's a full-blown adult now. Anyways, I don't know what to tell them, but let's just get into the next story. Am I the asshole for making my wife do all the chores since she used the chore money for herself? I work out of town at a very physically demanding job. Strangely enough, I am really lazy, but I make lots of money, so I have no problem paying for people to do all my housework and my yard work. I have a cleaning lady and a kid that mows my lawn and shovels the snow. My wife knew all this throughout our relationship. I didn't keep it a secret or anything. She actually seemed to appreciate that my place was always clean when she came over and that there was more than just pickles and beer in my fridge. She lived with her parents to save money while she paid off her student loans. We discussed her living with me, or even just in my house while I was gone, but she wouldn't go for it. Her family is very traditional. Anyways, we got married in September and she's finally moving in with me. She is amazing and I am stunned by how hard of a worker she is. I also offered to pay off the remaining balance on her student loans, but she wouldn't agree to that. What she did agree to, though, was to take over housekeeping and shopping in return for the money I used to pay my housekeeper being added to her budget. It kind of sucked, but a couple of the guys I work with took her on, so she is okay. The problem is her dad is big on doing all the work around his house. I am not. I pay people to clean my gutters, I pay plumbers, electricians, whatever. I work extremely hard for 14 days in a row, and when I'm home, I want to relax. I want to walk my dog and not much more. My dog lived with my parents when I worked, but now he is home with me and my wife. Since we got married late in the last year, my lawn didn't need to be mowed after our honeymoon. We have had a weird year for snow. Like, we just got our first big dump, and this post was made on December 15th. And since I was coming home late last night, she told the kid not to shovel, and she kept the money. Whatever, we're a partnership, she can make decisions like that. However, despite whatever her dad has to say about it, I don't shovel. I could get hurt or worse, sweaty. So this morning I made sure she knew that if the snow wasn't removed in 48 hours, we would get a citation from the city. They would send out a crew to shovel, and we would be charged for it at city union labor rates. She said I could shovel. I said I could, but I wouldn't since I had budgeted for someone else to do it. She ended up having to do it herself. She tried calling the kid, but he was going to school, so we couldn't do it until afterwards, but he had other clients to take care of. She's mad at me because I could have shoveled. I fully could have. But I didn't want to. I never want to. That's why I pay other people to do that. I don't even like that I have to unload the dishwasher. I used to just throw dishes in there and they would end up in the cupboard. Am I the asshole for assuming that if she took the money for a job, then she would take responsibility for that job getting done? Commenter. Not the asshole, but if you're used to things being done, then don't give the money to your wife. Give it to the people who will do it. To be honest, I wish my husband would do this. Then there's more time for our hobbies. Commenter 2. Not the asshole. If she's gonna pocket the money, then she needs to do the chores. She doesn't get to pocket the money, then insist you do the chores. If she doesn't want to do them, then pay the people you hire to do them. Your wife's being the jerk here. Commenter 3. Not the asshole, but I think you should keep hiring people to do chores and not give your wife the money to do them. I don't think she respects that fact that you don't and can't do some of the work that her and her dad do. Yeah, I mean, how could you be the asshole here, right? I mean, you were literally giving people the money. Although, I don't know why you started taking away the money and just having your wife do it in the first place. I mean, I understand that she kind of insisted on it, but like, it's to the point where you should just say, hey, I'm going to take that money back and start giving it to the people who do the chores because I don't care and I don't want you to do it anymore. At least that's 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 what I would do because like I don't think I really care. Like as long as it gets done, I couldn't care how I'm spending my money. Like you can't tell me how to spend my money, type thing. You know. Anyways, let's just get into the update. Update. So we got another big dump of snow today. My wife knew I wasn't gonna do it, and she didn't want to do it, so she called her dad for help. He told her that he would come do it and talk to me after work. Cool. I'm warm inside with my dog. I had already talked to the kid and he had already done it, been paid, and skedaddled. I was gonna tell her father to stay out of our marriage when it came to finances and stuff. Well, he went to his house first, and shoveled his sidewalk first, and slipped on his sidewalk, and twisted his back, so he didn't finish, and he won't be coming over after all. Her mom and older brother got him back inside and finished their walk. He had to come over from his own apartment where he pays a monthly fee for snow removal and stuff like that. Anyways, her dad isn't seriously injured, no broken bones or a concussion or anything. They had to check him out, but now my wife is home and it's supposed to snow for the next few days. She wants me to go shovel there since it's too hard for her mom and her brother said he has work stuff and only showed up because it was an emergency. I volunteered to pay for my kid, who is not biologically related to me in any way, but some of you think it's my child, to drive over there and shovel. I even said I would drive him over and have that talk with their father. My wife has agreed that it is best I pay for yard work and snow shoveling. I'm working on her on the housekeeper, and I'm talking to her about the student loans and the car. I'm thinking of saying that I will pay them off and she can put the money she was paying for them into our RRSP. That's a retirement savings account in Canada. Her dad is Filipino for all of you that asked. Dude, I can't imagine how hard it is to not just say, and I told you so after her dad slipped. Like, I mean, is that not literally like, okay, I kind of feel bad for laughing because like he got hurt, but like that is literally exactly why you pay someone else to do it. Because you don't want to fall. You can't. You can't. If you get hurt for work, you're fucked. Like from what heard from your job, you work 14 days straight and then you're like off. Like you just want to relax. Right? And I'm sure it's because it's some sort of difficult like outdoor job, right? Where it's like physically and mentally taxing. Anyways, let's just get into the next story because there's nothing else you can say about this. Like there's no resolution and it's just like nothing really happened. Am I the asshole for refusing to make meals anymore for my girlfriend after she kept complaining about my cooking? Things have been great with my girlfriend for the most part. We, 28F and 26, 28F and 26M, have been together for 4 years and living together for 2. Lately, there's been some tension, so I feel like maybe that's why things have boiled over. We both work a lot, so we have both been very cranky and moody, especially my girlfriend who snapped at me a few times and been in a really bad mood. For the past few days, what's really setting her off is my cooking. I'm usually the one making breakfast, packing our lunches, and making dinner. Literally, anytime I've been at the stove, she complains about how bad the smell is and gives me crap about using stuff that has obviously gone bad according to her, or saying it tastes like shit and she won't even finish eating. This has pissed me off, but I'm not a chef and I do pride myself in my cooking. But all she does is talk about how bad my food is. I've had my coworkers try my lunch and they tell me it tastes just fine. I figured with all the stress she's under at work, she probably needed an outlet to let out her frustration. And maybe that's why she's giving me all this backlash about simple things. I don't know. But I snapped a little this morning when again she complained about the omelet I was making us. So I actually dumped the eggs in the trash, told her she can make her own damn breakfast for herself, and I'm not cooking for her anymore. If she's gonna keep acting spoiled about what I make, I'm done. We ended up having an argument over this and we left for work mad. Anyways, my girlfriend didn't come home and her sister called me. My girlfriend's mad at me, and her sister thought I was being a dick for reacting so immaturely by refusing to cook for her anymore when I know she works a lot, so sometimes she doesn't have the time to prep her own meals. I don't know why this is turning into a bigger deal, but here I am sitting at home wondering if I was being an asshole for losing my cool and telling her I'm done. I just don't think it's fair for her to be talking shit about my cooking when she never has before, and thought, well, if she doesn't like it, then she can take over the kitchen. Was I an asshole? Um, Initially, I wanted to say no, you're not. But I read the comments, and the consensus is the commenters think she's pregnant. I didn't even know this was a side effect of pregnancy. But apparently, like, smells and stuff can really piss people off when they're pregnant, but, like, they just, like, you just don't know, you know, until you actually find out that, you're pregnant. But of course, I wouldn't know about that because I am not a teen dad or gotten any girl pregnant because, yeah, the hus don't want me back. I am not a ladies' man, okay? Anyways, I sit here and I read Reddit in my room. Do you really think I'm pulling? Yeah, I don't think so. Anyways, let's just get into the update because now I'm interested to see if she's actually pregnant. Update the next day. Well, shit, this is way too many responses. Most of it pointing out some obvious stuff that didn't even hit me until you guys mentioned it. I was super late when I posted this, and I was gonna wait until morning to talk to her. I had a missed call from my girlfriend, so of course I called her back. Totally different tune this time. My girlfriend was really apologetic about the way she was acting and didn't realize how much of a bitch she was being. In her words, not mine, I swear. Until she talked more with her sister. Apparently, her sister didn't have the full details of the fight, My girlfriend was just extremely upset, and while she told her that what we fought about, I guess the state my girlfriend was in at the moment made her think the fight was a lot bigger than it actually was, hence her reaction. She didn't know this was going on for days until they talked about it last night. Even her sister was like, seriously? Yeah, that helped her see how shitty she was being towards me. Her sister apologized to me, by the way. I said my piece to her. It wasn't cool being used as her punching bag, and I don't deserve that kind of disrespect from her, especially when I'm out here cooking meals for both of us. My girlfriend was really understanding of that, and we both agreed to talk it out instead of letting it all boil up to the point where we're snapping at each other. Okay, so getting back to what everyone's wanting to hear. My girlfriend got home and I decided to bring up her issues with the smell thing, praying to God she wouldn't whip my head off for implying she was only mad because of hormones. Her reaction was priceless though, because she clearly didn't think about that either, so we took a quick trip to CVS and got us a couple tests just to be sure. We came home and they're positive. Holy fuck, I can't believe you guys were right about that. I'm feeling like a bit of a dumbass for not knowing that, but anyways, yeah, we're pregnant and we're freaking out slash super excited. My girlfriend for sure cried, and okay, me too a little bit. She's calling her doctor to make an appointment though, just to be sure, but for right now, it looks like we got a little squish on the way and I can't stop thinking about it. It's just too crazy. I know lots of you keep asking, so there's your update. This has been a fucking roller coaster. Wow. I didn't expect that. I honestly thought maybe they were like, maybe not lying, but I didn't expect it to be the truth. Like they were actually pregnant, but that's great for them if they're ready for a child. Of course, surprise children like this can be an issue if the parents aren't ready, but from what the OP said, it seems like he's super excited and he's like ready to be a father. So that's great. And I hope their relationship works out because from what I can tell, they don't have communication issues, which is it's Reddit, right? Like everyone has communication issues on Reddit, but these people don't, and it's like, what? No way, right? But it seems like they're actually a good couple, and shit might work out for once. This might be the only story I've read this week, not exaggerating, where they have figured out their problem, and Redditors have actually helped them. And that is honestly crazy, and that is a perfect way to wrap up Multiple Story Monday. So let me know what you all think in the comments down below, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.